Scary creatures. We've all seen them in movies and perhaps even online. But what if it actually occurred in real life, and the person who saw it had a camera on hand to get the mind-blowing footage that quite possibly no one would believe that was true? Well, guess what? For today's video, we're going to count down the 5 scariest unknown creatures caught on camera in real life. Are you ready to see them? We certainly do hope so, because we've looked high and low to find these amazing and unknown creatures for our wonderful viewers. So let's go and see how scary they can be. We just can't wait to show you. Number 5. In our number 5 spot, we have this truly amazing footage of this scary unknown creature. It's seen here and taken by an unsuspecting street camera that's placed perfectly in its location and position. Watch for it on the far right. It's so amazing. It happens really quickly, so keep yourself focused. Did you spot it? So, right out of nowhere, the very large and glowing object seems to land for just a moment in time, and then it takes off again in an instant. The people who are close by run over to where it appeared in this footage, which seems to be occurring fairly late at night. We kind of wonder why they're out so late, but that's for another video, right? Right. In fact, the onlookers go over with torches in hand to check out the scene, but they can't seem to find any evidence that it was there in the first place. And they seem to be in awe that they all witnessed it together. And we wonder whether or not they realize that there's a camera set up in place, which actually caught this one for real. What do you think? Is this an extraterrestrial of some kind, or is it a strange and beautiful supernatural craft with biological workings? We can't really be sure in this particular instance, but it makes our number 5 spot for our countdown for the 5 scariest unknown creatures caught on camera and spotted in real life. This one would have been surreal and very scary for those guys who actually saw it. Whew, we still can't be sure why they were there with torches though. But they got to see the cool creature fly down and leave too. Number 4. For spot number 4, we have this unbelievably scary creature featured in our top 5 countdown for today. Here we can see internet user Roller Kirby Derby's explanation of a creepy creature in her home. She states, "So I was home alone at 2 a.m. as my parents were out at a yearly company event, which always drags out into the wee hours of the morning. And I was cleaning my house as a surprise for my parents so they'd come home to a spotless house. They've worked hard, they've earned their night out, and I was honestly enjoying myself as I had my tunes on and was lost in thought. All the lights were on, so even though it was night, there wasn't no dark, spooky corner to make me feel uncomfortable. This is important for later." She went on to describe how she was cleaning and how she hears doors creaking. She shuts off her music and she goes out into the hallway to see the door of her sister's room creaking open. The light in her room was off, so Roller Kirby Derby asked aloud, "Could you close the door?" and then said, "No, don't worry." After she spoke, she kinda laughed it off. But in her account, the door started to open up again, and the girl began to worry because she was starting to get creeped out by it. And so she decided to keep going, walking past it without a care. But then the door kept creaking again and again. "By this time," she says, "I decided to go upstairs to my own room and wait for my parents to come home. But as I went, I heard a creaking noise on the stairs, and as I held my breath, I watched this amazing creature come toward me. And oh my god, it was a ghost-like woman coming down the stairs. I wanted to scream but couldn't because I was so in shock about it and I felt numb. And right at that moment, my parents arrived home as I ran to them. Our inside camera caught it on film and it was the freakiest thing I ever saw. My parents never left me alone at night again." Number 3. Here, we can see the 3rd spot going to this unknown creature that can be seen in this footage from an office filmed in 2012. The cameras are placed in multiple rooms so we will get a great vantage point. In Manchester, located at the Castlefield House office building in the UK, well, it had some strange footage caught on camera. And this was also witnessed by one of the cleaners who said they were surprised and very scared when they saw it in real life. Let's keep looking. Here, we can see the computers flicker on and off, and then shortly afterward, the handle of a doorknob begins moving violently, as if something is stuck in a room. But what is that something? It's quite an eerie piece of footage to watch. What do you think, viewers? What could it be? Aren't you scared yet? Next, the filing cabinet moves on its own, and then we see a door slam and another filing cabinet opening with papers flying out into the open air. As the last burst of paperwork flies, you can see a shadowy creature appearing in the footage, but we can't be entirely sure of what it is exactly. And it's where the man who saw it. Yes, the cleaner says it was dark and bigger than a man. We think this place is pretty scary. and that the creature or shadow man is definitely a paranormal fixture here. Did you see him too? It all happened so quickly. And this is our number 3 spot on the countdown, and we think it's amazing and probably paranormal. Number 2. Our number 2 spot is our best pick, and this was sent in by Shane, one of our fantastic viewers who said his neighbor caught this amazing pic outside of his house. The neighbor hasn't really said too much about it to very many people though, mostly because at the time he was scared out of his mind at the enormity of the creature that seemed to be climbing on top of a house. But not just any house, this was his own home. It kind of looks like an arachnid, but we would love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section. It is huge and it really looks like something from a blockbuster movie. We wonder how on earth more people didn't see it or film it really. It's just so big. Shane attached a little bit more of the story when he sent it in. He said that his neighbor from California was inside of his house watching television. He heard a noise on the roof that sounded like creaking and then a large bang after that. He thought that maybe some squirrels had gotten up on top of his house roof, and so he took his camera so he could show his landlord when he spoke to him next. The fact that this guy was home alone and most of his other neighbors were at work made him feel even more scared about the whole scenario. The noise was described as a crashing sound by John, and when the noise became a little too loud, he ventured back inside of his home and tried to call his wife, who was at work. She told him to call the fire department and he was about to do it, but then decided to go back inside and take another look first, hoping to gain more of an understanding of what it was so he could explain it better on the phone call. He also took his camera with him to try to get another pic, but to his absolute surprise, the creature had disappeared as if it had never been there in the first place. And so John was left with only one pic of the unknown creature and a strange response from his wife. She said, "You really are good at pranking me, John. If this were real, we'd need to call the FBI or something. One of those investigative teams, perhaps." But nothing more happened about it, and John tried to convince his wife, who still deemed it to be a great feat of camera trickery, even though it wasn't. Poor John. We're definitely feeling for him on this one. It's definitely a scary one, it's definitely a very scary one, and really weird.
I saved the best for last, but first, I have a quick challenge that takes only 5 seconds to complete. If you can leave a like and subscribe within the next 5 seconds, you'll get 10 years of amazing luck. Just try it, it really works.
Number 1. Okay, YouTubers, we've reached the number 1 spot now. And this one takes the cake in our top 5 scariest countdown for unknown creatures caught on camera and spotted in real life. Let's show you. Are you ready? Good. In this footage, we can see a super creepy creature that looks like a person at first glance. But what on earth is a person doing on a country road in the middle of a night? Seems a little spooky, right guys? Well, we're scared already, especially as it gets closer and closer and just a little bit closer. The men in the video had reportedly heard about a monster in the area, and so they actually began driving around looking for it. On purpose. We wouldn't do that, would you? Nah, we wouldn't. Anyway, the strange human ghost-like creature can be seen shuffling on the road, and then it begins to take on the appearance of limping. But when these guys try to turn around and go, it speeds up and begins chasing the car as they leave, which, by the way, totally freaked these guys out as they left the area quite puzzled and dumbfounded by what they just saw.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
This really was a freaky night out for these guys, who probably should have stayed home and watched the game. But we're so glad they didn't because they enabled us to put it at our number 1 spot for this monumentally scary countdown. The monster even tries to retreat, but these guys go and follow it again, and then it starts following them again too. Jeez Louise. These guys really do have some kahunas. We're not sure if they got home by themselves or with the unknown creature. Just a really quick poll for the viewers now. How many of you would try to find the monster late at night in the middle of nowhere? Is this actually a thing that happens often? This is strange and definitely scary too. The monster woman can stay away from our neck of the woods all day, every day, and thank you very much. We'd like to thank you for being here today and joining us today here at MindRead. We have definitely enjoyed this scary countdown, featuring the 5 scariest unknown creatures caught on camera and spotted in real life. We'd love to hear your ideas on any videos you'd love to see in the future. We invite you to comment below and let us know what you, our awesome viewers, would like to see. We'd also love to invite you to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so that you can stay in touch with our latest videos too. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you real soon, folks. Oh, and don't forget to take your camera on your travels, will you? Good luck.